Hi, my empowered beings, and welcome to our podcast. Today, we have Mansi Kothari, who's been practicing psychologist, relationship, life, and leadership coach from the past 12 years. So let's grab this opportunity and ask our expert about relations, because I feel like everyone is struggling with relations, and relations are such an integral part of life. Yet, we all somehow are struggling. I see my friends, I see myself, and since we have the expert, who better to know from than Mansi herself? So, hi Mansi, so tell me, why are people struggling in relations and why is it so difficult?
Drishti, there are various reasons that I have observed. The first reason is low on patience. People, their tolerance power is so low these days. Second is because of the dating websites like Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, etc., etc. There is always one thing in mind of everybody that they might get somebody better. I think third, which is a very constant reason that I see in people, is they constantly carry past relationship baggages and their insecurities. Fourth is nobody wants to live a restricted life. So, commitment phobia. Last is constantly looking for red flags in relationship. I think these are the 5 main reasons that I'm seeing from last few years which are creating a lot of struggles in relationship.
Yeah, and you talked about dating apps, right? I feel like people, when they end up fighting, all they want to do is just go on the app and be like, okay, when I know I can grab 10 other people, why to focus on that one person,
So
you know?
So true. Exactly. Low patience. And problem of too many options available out there.
Oh, yeah. And also, like, I've heard even in like reels, the patience level and our attentiveness, it's just dropping down.
So true.
So I feel the same is being applied in relations.
100% yes.
Yeah.
No tolerance, low patience.
You must be getting a lot of clients who come up with the same issues. So can you give me examples about how our insecurities are actually damaging our relations?
Alright, so I'll give you one example. Let's say somebody who has low self-esteem. I think this is a very, very common problem that most of the people are facing these days, right? So when you have a low self-esteem and you are in a relationship, let's say there's a situation wherein your partner is trying to give you very constructive feedback, which is to help you become a better version of yourself. But somebody who has a low self-esteem will take up as an attack and will become defensive. Very, very common feature of a relationship problem wherein you always end up feeling that you are being attacked by your partner. I'll give one more example over here. If somebody has a body image issues, okay? If you have body image issues, you're very insecure about yourself. You're constantly thinking that you might end up losing your partner. Insecurity leading to anxious attachment style and further too much of pressure on relationship, which makes relationship toxic.
Yeah, and I think the other person ends up feeling suffocated in the relations.
So true, yes.
When in reality, they just want to see you grow. And because you deal with that insecurity, you end up thinking that person doesn't like you anymore, or they're only looking at your weakness or your flaws because you can't embrace your flaws.
Yes, and also I think what I see in people is because of insecurity, they also become very controlling. Which further, it's very simple, no? It's like a sand, you hold it tightly, it will slip away from your hand.
Oh my God, this is such a good point. I love that. And also, okay, explain it to me. Why have people started equating love with control?
That's again insecurity.
Yeah.
It's not love. So there is control is basically attachment, right? Love is all about, how the other person is feeling, whether the other person is happy or not. You're not thinking about your own happiness that much, okay? And attachment is all about how am I being treated in the relationship. So they are not controlling the other person. They are just trying to control how am I being treated in the relationship. So it's a control over their own emotions, or they're trying to protect themselves.
That's such a good point. So you spoke about the baggage. How do we handle the past baggage in relations?
Before answering to your question that how to handle baggage, let's understand how baggage damages your relationship, right? Somebody who is carrying the baggage also over the period of time becomes very bitter in the relationship. And sometimes I have seen they also become revengeful towards their partner, right? So what I feel is letting go of baggage is very important because you end up creating a lot of pressure on the relationship to protect yourself. So rather than carrying baggage, carrying your mistakes, just let go of it. pick up your learnings from the mistakes and be cautious about it.
I think it's such a great way of looking at a failed relation.
So true.
You see, if you want to make a relation be successful, I think if you don't learn from our failures, then we end up repeating the same mistakes, like you said, and that's such a good point. I think I'm going to take that in my relation and forgiveness journey and how to handle. Secondly, I really want to ask you, how do we identify that we are carrying the past baggage? I think a lot of people, they're not even aware that the triggers that are happening in a present relation is actually not coming from the current partner, but the past relation that they left behind. So we had...
That's a beautiful question, right? One very big way of figuring it out is when the thoughts are coming in your mind, that is the history repeating itself.
Oh my God.
The moment you have this thought, first thought, second thought is the constant fear, or when you end up saying this to your partner, you're just like the similar guy, or you end up saying to your partner that, there is no difference between you and my ex. Even when you're not saying, when you think it in your mind, that means you are carrying the baggage, first thing. Second thing is, if you feel the pressure of fear within you, that means something from the past is coming and is bothering your relationship.
Fear of pressure.
Fear or pressure.
Fear or pressure.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice. So these days we focus on red flags a lot, and you said that it's the cause of a bad relation. What do you think about that?
Okay. So what happens with our mind is what you focus on, it gives you the same thing. So if you're focusing only on the red flags, you will end up getting only the red flags. I'm not saying that red flags are not important. They're very important. But constantly thinking about it is not important. What you need to do is be very clear in your mind what are the non-negotiables about the relationship. That is it. Focus on non-negotiables, and whatever you have learned from your past mistakes, just focus on these two things. Do not focus on red flags. Otherwise, you are just attracting the red flags in your relation.
I think if we solely focus on just the red, we end up seeing just the red instead of the green we could actually count.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Where the focus goes, the energy goes? Is that
focus
the same?
Goes, energy goes, and you attract only that in your life. So attract all non-negotiables. What are important for you in the relationship? Attract that.
Can I give you some story?
Yeah, please.
I remember I was talking to my friend, and I think we were just talking about relations and how she's meeting a guy who's not meeting her needs and everything. And I remember asking her, okay, fine, I see everything you're talking about, but I hear only you tell me about the things you do not want in a guy. What is it that you actually want in a relation? So that's when I feel even her mind switched. And I think I've done just the same mistake of, like you said, focus on even like knowing what you want instead of just focusing on the red. And I think the social media, and especially now with the algorithm giving you exactly what you need. You even type red flags, the only thing you're getting is red flags, instead of...
So just type what you want in the relationship rather than typing what you don't want.
That's such a good thing, to keep even our Insta and our mind healthy.
AI will show you what you want, right? AI will show you what you're looking for. So look for what you want. You are non-negotiable. So that AI will show you that also.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm going to search better things now.
Absolutely, yes. So true.
Okay. So we've discussed all the problems in a relation. But what, according to you, is a good relation? And how do we see and seek a good relation?
That's my favorite question, because I'm somebody who really believes in relationship. And I think on the basis of my experience, as well as all the psychologists around the world, after their research, they have given this one beautiful definition of good relationship. It says, good relationship is a relationship wherein both the partners are working together to help each other and to make each other a better version of themselves in an environment which is full of trust and respect for each other. That is what good relationship.
Oh my God. Can you believe just the two things could be so important?
Very important.
And it's so easy to identify a good relation. And I think we're just so in our head about the red flags that we end up forgetting just like trust and respect and growth.
Just one more thing. There are 3 pillars in the relationship, okay? Trust, respect, the first 2. And the third one is dependent on the first 2, which is communication.
Oh,
So you cannot communicate if you do not trust the person. You cannot communicate if you do not respect the person. So these are the 3 pillars of a good relationship.
wow. And what do you think the role of self and the relation you have with the self plays in the relation you have with your partner, let's say?
It's very important to love yourself before you love your partner. Because if you do not love yourself, you will drain all your partner's energies into relationship. And that will make relationship eventually very hollow. So self-love is extremely important to find your true love too.
Wow. I've also heard this, so I need your input on this. They say that self-love is selfish. What do you think about that?
Self-love is selfish when you are not empathetic. Right?
Oh my God.
So, have self-love, but at the same time, have empathy and respect towards others. There's a very thin line difference between being self-centered and self-love. Just be cautious about it.
Oh, you just said it like 2 words. They're different: self-centeredness
And self-love.
and self-love. Wow. I've learned so much from this podcast, and especially I'm blown away. Thank you, Mansi, for taking out this precious time and helping us build an empowered relation with the self and, of course, with others. Thank you for taking out this precious time and, using all your expertise in helping us. So I'm truly glad that we had this conversation.
Thanks a lot, Drishti. The pleasure was all mine. It was great having conversation.
Yeah, it was great to share the couch with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.